This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Mm-hmm. Dun 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 dun.
No. Y'all, just stop. This is a sham.
Where'd Tori go? Sorry.
Welcome to DBL. We timed that wrong because I'm still chewing a mint. Tori's doing something over there.
I fell.
Well, at least you're seated.
And we have a new face, Lindsey Granger, joining the panel.
Hey guys, I'm so excited. This is the fun show.
Yeah.
I know. Tori's,
really is.
We're all fun shows, but this is like the really,
the
little
evening
bit of,
show.
Yeah, exactly. A little spice on it.
I love it. It's like it's late night, and you can just kind of talk about the fun stuff. So enjoy. Let's do it.
The early show's good too, though, right?
Who's down there?
Okay.
All right. Let's get started. Jennifer Lopez didn't want to dish about her love life on the Today Show. So during a chat with Hoda and Savannah, J-Lo wasn't about to talk about her on-again romance with Ben Affleck. That would have been my first question.
Bobby.
Even though she talked about it in People magazine. Let's watch.
How did you find each other again?
I think, we can talk about that backstage if you really want to know. But, I think what we learned from the last time is that love, when you are lucky enough to find it, is so sacred and special, and you have to hold a little bit of that privately.
Don't play coy, J-Lo. Later, when Hoda mentioned the People magazine cover, she also hid the part talking about her own breakup with Joel Schiffman. Let's take a look at that.
You look beautiful on People. Let me just block out this corner. You look really.
Why are you trying to block out the corner? You don't want to talk about your personal stuff? Is that what it is, Hoda?
Touche. Touche.
What the heck?
Touche.
Mm-hmm. And we're already getting comments in, Tori, about why we're wearing red. We totally aren't, but we forgot to mention it at the top of the show.
We just want to let you know that it is Go Women American Heart Day, and it is to bring awareness and education and as to the women disparity in heart health. It's a strong, strong killer, so please warn your sisters and your daughters about the heart effects that could happen to them as well.
Well, speaking of matters of the heart, what did y'all think about this? Because this was super weird.
Do you see how we support each other on this show?
Yeah, that was
Al
a good
transitions back into the story.
Tori
We mentioned
giving us a
red.
TED Talk. Yeah.
2 pairs of socks, 65 on Twitter got mentioned. There we go. We bring everybody involved. So
I thought, listen, you're part of the news story. Hoda is a big part of the news story, so she's holding up the magazine trying to play. J-Lo was like, listen, it's open season. If you're going to keep asking me, I'm sure J-Lo wasn't only there to talk about her boyfriend or whatever they called now.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's the thing. I think people are trying to nail down the status. What do we call you? Is that your fiance, your boyfriend, your friend with benefits? It's weird. These A-list stars live these public lives, and they kind of know that people live through them in their relationships. And people went through her first relationship with this same person.
But one of the A-list stars was sitting across from her, who's in a public divorce, talking about everything's amicable, everything's good, and that's always a lie. There's obviously a problem, and you're getting divorced. But I appreciate handling responsible adults, and that's the amicable term, right? So you need to also address the elephant in the room. If we're gonna talk relationships, let's talk both of us relationships.
I get where J-Lo's saying, listen, let's talk backstage because you have some dish that I want too, right? But then maybe the producers say, listen, we have to stay on topic, or maybe J-Lo's people say, we don't want to go there today, because that's a conversation people want to hear. J-Lo, how did you and Ben get back together? How are you doing after your recent breakup? We want to hear that coffee talk with them, right? But I don't know if that's a show.
They both were in situationships. Hoda wasn't actually married either, so J-Lo and her have the same question to answer.
And I think that's what people want to see.
Yeah, what I don't get is the audacity, and I'm saying that kind of joking, I'm not offended, but that J-Lo wouldn't answer a Ben Affleck question. Mm-hmm. That's the question we all want to know. And same for Hoda. So good for her to turn the tables, but for her to play coy and all that, I'm like, what, really? You don't think that that's the first thing people want to know about?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that's really that fair. I really feel like you hit the nail on the head, Tori, because when I was thinking about this, I was like, why was J-Lo so kind of apprehensive to answer? And I was like, well, where would this conversation take place in a better situation? And I think that's why Red Table Talk gets so much out of people, because, Jada Pinkett Smith goes, look, I've done this. I'm embarrassed about this. Here's a picture of me doing something bad. And I think the person being interviewed is like, I did that too. And I think it helps, but when you're in a quick interview and you're kind of promoting something and somebody goes, Jeff, are you and Jordan still arguing? You're not. You're like, I got 3 minutes. I don't want to, maybe they're I don't want to.
But a minute out of those 3, I think, should have been on Ben Affleck.
I know, but
that's
history,
that's
you don't want history to repeat itself, right? Because they just talk about their relationship so much, and that was part of the reason Ben Affleck said it was a problem, because everyone had their opinions, and they broke up, and he blamed all of us.
But then don't go at Hoda and not expect to bring it up,
Hoda
right?
should have came out with her stuff too then.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm with you. I'm sure if you mention J-Lo how good she looks, she doesn't say, we'll talk about that backstage.
Good point.
She's like, all right. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian are at odds when it comes to co-parenting their kids. So Kim recently posted this video of her and daughter North lip-syncing a song on their shared TikTok account. But Kanye took issue with it. He posted a screenshot from the video and wrote, quote, "Since this is my first divorce, I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will." So Kim, of course, responded on Instagram saying that Kanye's constant attacks at her are more hurtful than any TikTok North might create. She also said that as the main caregiver to their children, she is doing the best to protect their daughter. Okay, we got Kim's.
Tie-tie.
I'm very tie-tie. Listen, Kanye posted, let's talk about the daughter. I don't need Kim. Today I'm wearing purple. It's too much. You know what I mean? Let's get to the story. Let's get to the story.
Like a podcast of the history of the world with Jeff.
Get to it.
Okay, some volcanoes happen. All right, land masses
Well,
reform. Maybe they were
we're talking about the daughter. Why is the daughter on TikTok? Kanye's a little confused about that. Kim coming back with her response that someone else wrote for her. I don't really care about.
No, that's an important part of it because divorced parents, how do you deal with social media for your kids?
Listen, you make a great point. I'm complaining because the prompter was a little long.
Oh, you've been mad about that for about 11 seconds.
Well, listen. How do you feel about your kids getting back, posting them, or maybe during a divorce?
Yes, I am a divorcee, and I'll tell you what, and I've talked to a lot of friends about this, and I would love to talk to Kanye about him. I hope we can be friends, and I would tell him, Kanye, guess what? Here's what you can do about North being on TikTok. Nothing. She's at her mom's house, and when you decide to leave that house, what goes on in that mom's house is that is her domain. When you live in that house and you guys are a partner, then you guys have an equal say. But at mom's house and dad's house, mom's house might be a vegan house. Dad's house might be a party house. We don't know, but everybody's house is going to be different, and he has no say unless there is something like that's putting her in direct physical danger. He has no say in that.
I would say this may put her in danger. Does anyone disagree? I disagree with Al. What do you think?
As someone who just had a kid, I think that you need to have specific conversations with how you want to raise the kid, whatever the relationship status is. You should definitely talk about that, because I think it was cute for him when Kim Kardashian was all in the public and her whole life was on social media, but when the kid becomes a part of that life, now he's like, wait, I don't want that on social media. But the girl you signed up for literally lived her life on social media. Like every single step the family took was there. So now I don't know if they talked about we want to do something different with our kids and that was the plan, but if it wasn't, it's like, well, don't be surprised now. You can't really control her when she's at her mom's house. Like you signed up for this, Kanye. So as much as I think that Kanye is trying to get his I don't know what the good term is back, whatever he's trying to he's trying to get some.
But are you guys saying that a man doesn't have that the dad has no say in it?
No,
I kind of agree with you, but I'm also like, what if that was Jeff and you weren't able to say yes or no?
Well, what if he puts the baby in the music video of his? Is Kim going to say no? He was with you all day. He can't be in your music video, and he's like, wait, I've been showing my life in my music videos.
Here, let me give my point a little bit. Because one, if Kim's putting her on her Instagram, right, and as a little kid, nobody knows what it's like to be a Kardashian. I mean, the pressure that has to be is just insane, right? And to put your daughter in that world, right, at such a young age, and then all of a sudden you're the fun mom, right? I got to go to dad's house, and he's telling me I have to eat this or do this and be a parent. I don't even know if he's doing that, right? But there's good cop, bad cop. I want to go with mom, and all these people are loving me and posting on Instagram and how much they love me. Now all of a sudden you're the cool, fun mom, and it's like, is that really in the long run good for your daughter? Is she going to grow up, have a normal life? Absolutely not, no matter what you do. But is that safe for her in the long run?
I would say, Jeff, it doesn't matter. You don't have. I have just as much say, almost legally, as what goes on in my ex-wife's house with my kids as I do with what goes on in your. I can have an opinion,
right?
But I can't say, hey, to my ex-wife, I don't like the new guy you're dating. I love the guy she's dating, but I don't like this new guy. Let's flip him out. I don't have whatever she wants to do. That's her realm, and I've given that up when I renounced my rights to be her husband.
I understand that with your ex-wife, but not your kid. You're 50% of that child.
Right, but we're talking about direct physical harm that can be proven in a court of law, not something that makes you uncomfortable, something a judge will bang a gavel and say, you cannot do this.
I would argue that Kanye might have a case that being on Instagram as a Kardashian this young could it harm her in some ways.
It didn't hurt Kylie.
But there was a robbery.
It didn't hurt Kylie.
It hurt Kim when there was a robbery because of her jewelry on social media. There's been break-ins because of that. I mean, you could argue that that's a dangerous situation.
You could argue that any rich person is a target.
TikTok actually has rules that you're supposed to be 13 to be on it. I know a lot of kids are younger than 13 on it, but like that's the actual problem too, because I don't believe that North is 13. So I would be like, listen, let's just please not have our kid on social media yet, because we know all the things it does to their mental health.
Yeah. Do you know China has like different rules for TikTok? We're rapping, but like they shut TikTok down from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Well, China doesn't even allow Twitter.
But they post like, we'll talk about it another time because I think it's what we should do here. But hey, coming up on DBL, our interview with Mayans Interview.
Jeff Schroeder.
Try to change it. Hey, you got to come back another time. What does she really think about hosting Jeopardy and Amber Riley's new role? Erica tells us all about it in our weekly edition of What Erica's Watching? What Erica is watching.
Yeah, you don't like.
Closed captioning provided by
Communist. Hi, I just want to let you guys know GoRedForWomen.org is a great website that we are trying to get more people to go to for today, and that's why we're all wearing red.
Like I said, I also, by the way, I like when if you disagree with someone that you just jump right on it.
You did like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just worry that I dismantle Tori's point so quickly.
That you disagree with, bam, disagree with them.
How did you win?
Don't pause on it. Don't be like, just because that makes for a lively interaction, and I love it. It's great.
What are you, stupid?
What are you, idiot?
Let me go on that TikTok thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, double.
Shiny.
By the way, I found you guys something that takes away shine, and I bought 4 of them. They're coming to the
Okay, Jeff, as much you talked about China shutting down TikTok,
right?
And that's a beautiful thing for like control for all of us, but it also could go left real quick. With a lot of countries that do that and censor social media, if they could shut it down, they could do many things.
Right, but they also promote like positive videos, right? They're in, so you could control. I guess everyone's in control of their own destiny because they put whatever you plug in. So if you're looking at cows all day, you're gonna have more in your cow feed.
Right.
But they, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Hey, you don't think there's weirdos out there staring at cows all day? If you think of it, some weirdo is like just.
While you're saying that, you know it's weird, and you got me on a weird cow thing. I don't look at cows.
I'm trying to hear his point.
Okay, sorry. But what I do is I watch trains. Like you can just put in train from
That's 'cause you're kind of
Norway to somewhere, and it's just a train, and you're like in the caboose. And I'll put that on while I'm writing, and I have music because it's like something happening on the screen. It's like really snowy and beautiful.
Meditative.
But but it's really kind of relaxing.
Because it's like this.
Yeah, because I don't always want something
More relaxing than Tori's feet on the desk.
I thought I was trying to show more red.
Okay, does anybody know the train that, and I probably should know this, the one that runs through Telluride? That was a beautiful one to see.
The Georgetown one?
Oh, I think it is Georgetown.
There's
one that goes like for Christmas here in Colorado.
So beautiful.
There's a town called Georgetown.
You jump on that. At night, and we were like, oh, that's.
So, do you guys agree with my TikTok thing?
No, China's a communist terror.
I knew that.
I was joking.
Oh.
I didn't explain.
Well, 2 ladies of rap are trending and one has a little brat on the way. Plus, are you ready for a peek at what Lifetime is calling its most anticipated film yet? Well, stay tuned for this week's What Erica's Watching. First up, Lil' Kim is showing how she gets snatched in a video that has gone viral, so let's take a look.
I don't want to breathe, exactly.
This gives rapping a whole new meaning and explains why we haven't heard much from the Queen Bee lately. Her body was literally snatched. Next, Lifetime reimagined the classic thriller Single White Female by adding some black girl magic. This Saturday, Amber Riley will star in Single Black Female. Take a look.
Let me introduce you to your assistant, Simone Hicks. You two actually look alike.
I did a background check on her. She's crazy.
See, I already know how this one ends, and it's messy because anyone who would kill trying to be me will literally die trying. Okay.
Nobody ever chooses me.
First, Riri shocked us by announcing she's pregnant. Now, Debrat is sharing news that she and her fiance are expecting. Congratulations, ladies. It's probably safe to say Nick Cannon, drumroll please, is not the father. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBL Erica Watch, and stay tuned. We'll be right back. Nick Cannon.
Starting on February 2nd, hospitals nationwide are no longer required to report the number of COVID-19 deaths at their facilities to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The January announcement of this plan prompted viral tweets, like this one, with 11,000 likes claiming the government will end daily COVID-19 death reporting. And this response with more than 7,000 likes that accuses the U.S. of hiding its COVID-19 data. So let's verify. Is the U.S. government ending daily COVID-19 death reporting? Our sources are the Department of Health and Human Services, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and Nancy Foster, Vice President of Quality and Patient Safety Policy for the American Hospital Association. Throughout the pandemic, there have been two data collection sources for COVID-19 death data. One was administered by HHS, and the other by the CDC. Only HHS's is going away. HHS required hospitals to report all patients who died from COVID-19. However, those numbers don't include people who died at home, in nursing facilities, or elsewhere. The CDC's data relies on death certificate information, so it includes people who died of COVID-19 regardless of where the death occurred. The CDC will still collect and report its daily death count even after HHS stops gathering data from hospitals. Foster tells Verify in an email she believes HHS decided to stop recording this data to eliminate conflicting data sources and streamline the process. So it's false that the U.S. government is ending daily COVID-19 death reporting. You'll still be able to find that information on the CDC's website. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Our next guest is a neuroscientist, one of the smartest actresses out there, and even she doesn't think she's cut out for Jeopardy. Check out our new interview with Mayans Interview. Welcome, welcome, welcome to DBL, Mayans. So you're like the queen of Jeopardy now, and I want to just talk about your role hosting Jeopardy's National College Championship. Woo! You started as a guest host, and now you're doing primetime events like this one. So I want to know, how far do you think you would have gotten on Jeopardy if you'd have played in college? And I do want people to know you're like a neuroscientist with a neurobiologist with a doctorate in neuroscience. Am I right?
Nailed it, Tori.
Absolutely, but this kind of knowledge I did not have in college. I don't have now. No, this is like a whole other level. Just like when you meet adults, like there are smart adults and then there are adults who go on Jeopardy. Like this is a different category.
And you say that your son Miles encouraged you to host Jeopardy. So you have to tell our audience, like, what else have your sons pushed you to do?
He heard a rumor on the internet that like Mayans Interview should guest host Jeopardy, and he was like, Mama, people are talking about you. And I called my agent. I called Richard Weiss at WME, and I was like, my 15-year-old said that the internet thinks I should guest host Jeopardy. And Richard was like, I'm already on it. And I was like, but were you really until my kid?
Well, you were on the set of your show, Call Me Kat, when Amy Schneider's 40-game winning streak ended. What would it have been like to witness it?
I mean, it was so hard. It's also hard because we have, a real veil of secrecy around Jeopardy, meaning I can't even tell people, like, I never got to meet her. Very, very exciting and obviously historic in so many ways. And representation does matter. And I think what's amazing about Jeopardy is we're not a political space. We're not, that's not what it's about. It's about people showing off the best of who they are and making most of us feel ridiculous that we don't know anything.
So true.
Just everything about her was so incredible. And I do hope that I get to see her in Tournament of Champions. So.
Oh, yes, although Big Bang is over, you're still working with Jim Parsons on Call Me Kat. Would you say the two of you work better together as producers or as actors?
I think that acting is much more fun than producing, meaning, being given a script and getting to play in that space. We were playing make-believe. Producing is different. It's a different level of conversation. But the fact is, I trust Jim so much. I've essentially trusted him with my career, at this point. And it's fun. It's fun getting to work with his team. He's surrounded by really bright people because he's a really bright person.
We're in television, so we know what a big deal this is. Call Me Kat is in season 2, so congrats to that. We're going to clap right now. It's a big deal in TV.
Phil, Carter and CJ are waiting for their hot chocolates. What happened? Couldn't find the whipped cream?
Oh, I found it all right.
Leslie Jordan calls this his favorite job ever, like I would call this job.
Yes.
So is there like another funny Leslie Jordan story that you can kind of tell us? We won't tell him, you told us.
On TV.
Making a television show during COVID is not easy, especially a show that is designed to be done in front of a live audience so that we can get feedback on what's working and what's not, besides what our writers, kind of hope. We're like a warm hug of television. We're fun. It's light. It's hopefully has heart. Leslie is hilarious. He's hilarious in real life. He's obviously an incredibly skilled comedian and entertainer, but the things that come out of his mouth on a daily basis are far more interesting and usually would have to be censored with bleeps if we tried to put them on the air. Name a person from the 70s or 80s and he's like, oh, I got a story. So that's kind of what our days are like.
That's amazing. I would love that. Thanks for chatting with this Mayim. My godfather Jack Lowe was on Jeopardy 3 times. Very exciting. Yeah, I wasn't. DBL Nation, Jeopardy's National College Championship will be on ABC starting February 8th. And don't miss new episodes of Call Me Kat airing on Fox. We'll be right back. Thanks, Mayim.
Thank y'all.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Cannabis and COVID don't really seem like two things that should have anything to do with each other, but we here at Verify have seen a lot of questions about them, like this one from viewer Terry.
Is it true that research is being done with medical marijuana regarding its effect on COVID-19?
And you might have seen the headlines yourself over the last few weeks, or the memes. Some of them suggesting cannabis can help prevent COVID-19. But is that really true? Does a scientific study really say that smoking marijuana can prevent COVID-19? Let's verify. Our sources: the lab that conducted the study at Oregon State University's Global Hemp Innovation Center, and Dr. Jenny Wilkerson, a pharmaceutical sciences professor at Texas Tech. So that lab, the Hemp Innovation Center, they study the whole cannabis plant, not just the part that gets you high. And basically what they did was isolate every chemical they could to see what effects those chemicals had on the coronavirus. Their study found that a couple of compounds in the plant can bind to a certain protein of the virus in a way that prevents the virus from binding to human cells. That means the chemicals could potentially help slow the spread of COVID-19. But here's the thing, those compounds aren't the same ones you find in commonly found weed products. The chemical that gets you high, that's THC, and the other compound you see a lot is CBD. That one is sold for supposed health or relaxation benefits. But neither THC nor CBD are the chemicals featured in this study. The ones that bind most effectively to COVID-19 virus are called CBDA and CBGA. What are those? Well, they're cannabinoid acids. They're basically parent chemicals that eventually break down into the stuff you find in consumer goods. We had Dr. Jenny Wilkerson, an expert in cannabis and the immune system, explain it to us.
What the difference is between what CBDA and CBGA and what you're going to find in a lot of cannabis-related products is the fact that these are acid forms. So they're the precursors to what you're actually going to find in most cannabis-related products.
These acids are typically only found in fresh, unprocessed cannabis plants because exposure to heat, sunlight, or time causes them to break down. That means the very act of smoking cannabis destroys the acids that might help prevent COVID-19. And you aren't going to find them in edibles or CBD products either.
And so, unfortunately for the average person, the study doesn't really mean a whole lot, because, I mean, you're not going to protect yourself from COVID by using any cannabis products.
So, we can verify, no, a scientific study does not say smoking marijuana can help prevent COVID-19.
So much is happening live next week on DBL. We're chatting with musician Josh Groban. Pop culture icon Paris Hilton stops by, and fitness guru Jillian Michaels talks to DBL about how to feel and look great at 40, 50, and beyond. Plus, we catch up with the Goldbergs' Wendy McClendon-Covey, and Real Housewife Margaret Josephs gives us the latest gossip. All next week, only on DBL.
Oh, welcome back. The Winter Games kick off today, but the road to get there is different for every athlete. That's why Toyota has partnered with some of the most talented U.S. athletes in 20 years to prove through dedication anything is possible. The following is sponsored by Toyota.
The road to the podium, it can be paved with uncertainty.
The number one thing with anything that you do is that you should find the passion behind it, or else it kind of just becomes this mundane thing that you do.
It can question your commitment.
I was put in this spot where I was forced to mature pretty quick.
It's good to kind of take a step back once in a while, and like it's not something to be afraid of.
It can be covered with heartache.
Looking to put together, whoa, big slip! I couldn't really recover from that slip, and I ended up in third place in the race. It was definitely a stressful time, just kind of thinking like, okay, what happens next?
But it can also be rewarding.
It honestly is the most consistent and stable thing in my life.
I don't feel too pressured because I know I'm doing this for myself.
It can be encouraging.
You know, we're all out here progressing and pushing each other to become better snowboarders.
And it can be humbling.
Brittany Bowe actually declined her spot. I was just very lucky to have such a selfless teammate who kind of had my back in that situation.
No matter the road these athletes took to get to Beijing, they all agree it's the bumps, dips, and turns that motivated them along the way.
I was 10 years old, just dreaming of being here one day, and now I'm here.
And it's the support that will lead to victory.
Toyota's support means a lot, considering that, you know, they supported some of the best athletes, and having the support can allow athletes to be themselves and be the best selves that they can be.
They've made us better as a company. I believe that we've made them better and stronger. We're going to continue to win as we look out for one another.
Team Toyota is ready for the road ahead and hopes their dedication encourages others.
I actually have 3 new tricks waiting for you guys, so hopefully I'll be a little more on point for Beijing.
No more room for mistakes, and I'm definitely ready for that.
Right before my run, I always bend down and touch my board, and I'll be thinking about you guys, Team Toyota.
So in total, Toyota supports 29 U.S. Olympic and Paralympic athletes on their journey to the games and beyond. Who's watching?
I am, and Nathan Chen was so beautiful, and he did a quad, which is 4 rotations into the air with a triple Lutz. Very difficult. Bravo, Nathan.
I don't think people understand the half pipe until you see it in real life, like how scary it is. It's just exciting. Watch it. I'm
pulling for Chloe Kim.
Yeah.
Pull home another gold.
Yeah.
What? That didn't make sense. I'm out of here. See you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Go USA.